Okay, this lesson we're going to discuss the construct from parent tool. We're going to assume that the minerals have all been validated, they were found to be patented, and we're going to cut them into basically the rectangular system. We're going to do this utilizing our construct from parent tool, but first we need to select the polygons that we want to construct from. So by this, we select the polygons that the minerals lie within, or the quarters that they lie within. Once we have that, we can right-click on one of them. They'll be right at the top, construct from parent. We want to set our template to remainder aliquot. And then we just take the ball tool and start digitizing, going from each point or endpoint of the minerals on the perimeter, digitizing them in. Now this is a fairly simple process. You're just digitizing around. It knows what's going on. Doing it this way with all the parcels, it automatically creates the line points to maintain edge match with your quarters. So this is why it's nice, because it takes and automatically creates those intersections, puts parcel points with the quarter sections, and then automatically puts line points to maintain edge match. We've done that. It's thinking about it. It'll take a few minutes to process the data. And once it does, it'll come up with a whole bunch of new parcels. This eliminates like what I used to have to do in CAD NSDI and actually manually adjust these into the system after I brought in my shape files of the minerals. So it's a much easier process. Probably a few more seconds. I was thinking about cutting these delay times out, but I thought it was best to give everybody an understanding how long it might take. There, now you see all the polygons that were selected. There's various new parcels, and the new parcels being on either side of the digitized line. Now what we want to do is, you could either send a historic, but myself, I like to just delete the quarter that exist, which is the entire 40-acre quarter. I go ahead and delete it so that I have nothing left but my new parcels, which once you delete the polygon, you just right-click in the polygon, click on delete. This takes a few seconds also. Generally, I find these commands take about 30 to 40 seconds. About the same time when I was working on the standalone on my desktop, working in Nevada State Office. When we moved to SDE, it actually worked a little faster. So that's potentially another advantage of being in the SDE environment. So it takes a couple seconds for it to delete. You never knew seconds could seem so long. There, completed. You see we have the darker blue polygons now. And there's a new parcel either side of the mineral perimeter line. So we continue just going around deleting the quarters. Or like I said, you do have the option if you wish to send these to historic. I personally don't find much reason for them, as that now I have the current record and I'll just be displaying the remainders. Now also you see with the remainders that different color. Well, I like that because it gives you an automatic visual notice that once people get used to this, that it's a remainder of an aliquot. It has not been segregated. Prior to entry or disposal, a legal land description would have to be created for it, entailing notification to cadastral to either a survey needs to be done, funding needs to be granted, or a supplemental survey based on the record information to segregate these areas. That's why I like the difference in the actual visual. It's almost an automatic kind of pseudo land status as to I cannot perform entry or I cannot perform anything else that would require legal land division with these remainder portions. So we just continue going on around, taking care of these. See, it's not a real difficult process. Just clicking on polygons, selecting what you want to delete, which is the quarter and not the remainder. And we'll probably do maybe one more, and then we'll just kind of jump ahead to once we have this completed, and the next step in this process of validating these minerals or cutting them into the rectangular system. Okay, here we are. We've completed everything. Jumped ahead really quick here. Well, we don't need these remainder aliquot parcels on top of our minerals. So we just select them all and delete them that are overlying the minerals. You got other little corner up here we need to get. Once we've selected all the polygons that we wish to be rid of or delete, right click and then click on delete. Once again, this is probably going to take a few seconds. Kind of when you're actually working, it doesn't seem to be this long. I'm sure sitting here watching it seems to be forever. A few more seconds and we ought to see a nice bright yellow mineral area staring at us. There we go. We now have our minerals with no overlying or underlying rectangular. Like I said, we assume that these have been validated and that they all have gone to patent and there's no longer any federal interest. Now we need to complete the attribution of these remainder polygons. So we click on them one at a time. We utilize our measurement tool that's a standard tool in ArcMap. You have for measuring lines, area, various things. We want to do area. In this process, we want to verify that we're working in the right units. So we go to area, select acres, and basically once we start, it's just digitizing around the polygon. Doing this, it's giving you basically an approximate acreage because like I stated before, until surveyed, you'll never know what the actual acreage is. But this will be an approximate acreage that's good for the land title status. They have an idea what the remainder acreage is. And a lot of times they'll want for land title records also the amount of acreage of the mineral within a particular section. So we used to digitize these in CAD NSDI the same way and provide that information to the title records individuals. As you can see, we're going in doing our attribution. We changed our acreage. I like this because I can type remainder. A lot in the CAD NSDI, we did not have enough character space, so all we could put in was the quarter designator. I like that I can actually type in remainder, even though it is a different color, and visually you would recognize that. For people that don't understand the difference in the colors, this tells them right up front. So, certain fields here will probably be populated automatically in the future when we start utilizing the Attribute Assistant tool, which there will be instruction on later. This is to give the basics of how to get the minerals in at this time with minimal information, more or less. Once again, we're going to digitize the acreage for this one. I like showing that, each step of this process 3-4 times over, just so you get a better idea what it what it takes, the length of time between commands, and it helps, I think, rather than just showing one, you see the replicated process and with different polygons. Once again, we did our digitizing, we got our acreage, we go in, do our attribution. This shows you that if you happen to type in the wrong field and it doesn't expect that type of information in that field, it's not going to let you do it and give you that little warning. So in a lot of these fields, they're set up predetermined either with pull downs or what type of information they know they're supposed to be expecting, whether it's going to be numerical, text, combination thereof, or if any information can be put or changed in there at all. And it will basically let you know in plenty of time. Here we go once again. Can actually remember doing this similar process in WinGMM, so I could assist with title records people to get these acreages that they needed for these remainder portions. A lot of times those title records, there was not a feasible way to get that, and so they were still shown as nominal 40 acres. And we just created this remainder aliquot part from the B code in Nevada. We just used the B code. We converted everything that was B code to either a different attribution that it probably should have been, or we use it solely for these remainder parcels, remainder aliquot portions or parts. After this one, we're going to do that one where there's two. It's basically the same thing. You have two remaining aliquot portions or parts. And so we'll start digitizing, highlighting, digitizing the one. This one here, basically the same process. You can put the acreage for both of those remaining remainder aliquot parts. And we'll complete that. And in the next lesson, we'll go a little bit, we'll see the final product after we've completed all of this, and then go a little bit more on what you can do in the attribution when working with these parcels.